Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here going to be running the 450 up to the gold mine. It is the last of the lines to test. We did get that connected. It hasn't been run yet, so going to be kind of interesting to actually see if we pull it off. I know some of the track's pretty low to the ground. So we do have quite a bit of a ways to run today, so we're just going to turn around and hit it. Get on going, see if we can make it up there. Alright. Obviously, brakes are a little sensitive right now, but I mean, for the most part, as long as you think to look to brake soft, it, it's still playable, obviously, and still runnable. Haven't had too many issues there. You just cannot hit the brakes super fast or when you're going fast. So, just kind of how it works. As it does jump, some of the times, some of the cars jump around, sometimes they don't. So, it's kind of, hard to tell them, but it's an abrupt stop for the train. But other than that, not going to dwell on it because we're just rolling on through it. For the most part, haven't had any kind of other issues with any of the updates. So other than the brakes, things are working pretty well. And I think we got the rest of the rail hooked up, so we're just going to run with that. I do think once we get this, if this run works and I don't have to fix anything, we will be turning around and putting the save file out to the Discord. Plenty of places to put yards in here. We've been talking about it in like 3-4 different places to put yards in here, and I just can't make a decision. So I'm just going to leave the save file the way it is and let, people can figure out where they want to put a yard. Past that, there's enough holding at enough of the industries that the trains can be parked and, for the most part, are generally out of the way. And then it's up to whatever people want to do. There are quite a few of the Class 125s on here, a couple of the new Class 47s. There's like a Eureka and a Montezuma, all in this save file. I suppose I could sprinkle a couple more locos here and there. Definitely have the cash to throw out there to do it. So then people have whatever choice they choose. But the save file, if anybody is interested, will be released out on the Discord there as normal when we finish up a save file, because we will be, for all intents and purposes, calling this one complete. We'll definitely come in and do some decorating, and this save file is still going to get played plenty, but as far as the actual build out, I think I'm just going to call it good here. If this works, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure if it'll work. Like I said, there's a couple of places I've already got back and smoothed out just based on I didn't think it was gonna work, and haven't even run a train up there yet. So through the switch there. I do like that four-edge junction. Usually never do something like that, but I actually kind of like it. Some things on this layout just came out a little unique and weird, obviously, as you're finding the path for the first time and getting familiar with the map. So it's kind of just the unique first take on a map, which, I will always be kind of partial to the first layout on a map. Though they do definitely get better and fine-tuned as you find the ground and other alternative ways to run. But the first layout and first looks at it are always kind of the fun ones for me anyway. Like this, they probably could bring this up this hill and actually work it up here at a not crazy grade. And then you don't even need the long wrap down the side of the hill. That's just day one looking at how to solve a problem. It's amazing how much your outlook on a layout can change over time. Gets me every time. you really end up refining your runs down quite a bit. Or at least I do. I shouldn't say everybody. I'm sure some people get it perfect the first time and never move a thing. But I'm always kind of, I like to just get it done the first time. It leaves you plenty of room to improve and continue to play through and do things different. So at first, I kind of like that first raw take where you're just from A to B, struggling to play through kind of feel. That is always my favorite. Alright. There's the full richness in the sound as you get into the valleys. Great addition to the game. Still have to say that is just, you know, an awesome ad. Really gives the whistles that, you know, I don't know, that flavor that you want them to have, I guess. Just kind of how it goes. Alright, let's see if we can kick up some speed here to get this puppy moving. We got a nice flat ground here, so we'll kind of go for all we can get. Not too worried about having to hit the brakes or anything surprising us in here. This is not a deer crossing as far as that goes. Nothing to... We shouldn't have to worry about anything anyway. Hopefully this switch is flipped. There it is. All good. Hopefully everything handles the high speed. Everything seems to be running smooth. It's just the brake. When the brake locks up, like, weird things happen with the cars. I mean, you'll see some pop sometimes here and there. Sometimes they'll pop off the rail. Sometimes they don't. Just kind of weird. I found that if you at least keep to 40% or under on the brakes, you run into less problems. You might get some rocket and some rolling back there in the cars, but it doesn't seem like anything at least pops off. So I've been trying to stick to like 50% and under because it does get kind of dramatic sometimes, but, you know, always can't be said enough. You know, the beta branch is kind of where we do, you know, we get mass testing, and so we do have to expect sometimes that we are going to get some bugs, and some of them are going to be a pain in the butt and take a little bit of some time to work out. You know, not every bug gets squashed easy, so there you go. It's kind of what it is. There is always the main branch one can play that is, you know, or at least should be stable. I can't speak to it. I haven't played on it for quite a long time, as I only play on the beta really have for quite a long time. But the main branch should always be a much stabler option for people who are having issues. You know, always an option out there. Steaming down the rail. Those ones hang for quite a while too. I mean, they're 2-3 cars deep for the cylinder cock steam. Wow, steaming out the whole valley. It's pretty cool. Let's go a lot. Sand, still never really used the sand. Never found a use for it yet, or at least needed it yet. I don't know. Apparently it is now a thing, or at least does some stuff, I guess. I don't know, but I still haven't ever used it, so. Sand, I guess I don't really worry about too much. Which way is the switch? Okay, we're good. We're going right. We are going to turn around and lay off on some of the go power here. Just because we are going to start a downhill, so we will kind of start this thing, chill it out just a little bit so we don't get in a situation where we have to slam on the brakes. Gotta try to think a little bit ahead with this one. So we can just keep things kind of nice and easy. But you can see, I mean, somewhere, yeah, I don't even want to do it. I don't even want to, I don't want to make a mess out of the train, to be honest. We're just gonna take a chill and get there. Alright, we are still slowing down a little bit. Seems weird back in the day when we didn't even have a speedometer. You never worried about it. It was all just based on the sound and the look of the loco while it was running. Now it seems like you end up looking at the speedometer an awful lot because you're like, oh, well, this speed is safe. And so then you just end up riding on the speedometer a lot. Or at least I find myself doing that. Not sure which is better. See there, you notice, like, no big jerk with the train. I think the brakes are just stickier than normal. Is my guess. So at a certain point, like, you turn them up high enough and it gets sticky enough that it just absolutely stops the train. I don't know. It seems like the brakes are just stickier all the way across the board. Of course, that being said, you know, I'll stick 11% on it, I won't slow down, but it is actually slowing down quite a bit. And this whole Easter run with like a 15% brake just kind of set, and it would hold its speed the whole way down, no problem. And here, as you can see, it's just kind of stopping. Well, whatever. Getting down the hill, as long as you keep it gentle, things work alright, you know? I'm not exactly sure, again, how it's affecting all of the different locomotives. It may affect some more than others, obviously. So that'd be a thing to take a look at. If anybody knows, you know, are the brakes grabbing on everything? By all means, comment down below, I'm sure. It can't just be the Class 125. Got a lot of Class 125s on here, so honestly, that's all I've been running the last couple of days. Though I'll be honest too, I was a little frustrated with the brake thing, so the one day I didn't really run a lot the one day at all. So just kind of trying to move along loads and get through. You know, we can anticipate a couple more weeks probably until we get the next update. Hopefully we'll get word on the update sometime soon, at least when the plan is to come, but then it's probably also, you know, quite frankly, waiting on how long it takes to get a fix. I'm sure the fix is going to play into the update, so I would think anyway. Probably should have just used the box here when they had to stop the train, but telegraph booth jumping, not a big thing, not like something I've been doing for a very long time, so I don't always think to do it. There we go. So I have tried to put them at most of the switches. To be jump ahead friendly to flip your switches, so that's the thing. Work our way up the snake back here. Snake mountain, we can probably crank up the juice a little bit here. There we go, moving along. Let's check our fire. I still like to check the fire in the box, but then you can't even see it. There we go, 28%. Look at it in the light. It's too hard to see the white on top of the light. Alright, let's take a look. Make sure we still got the whole train back there. Still gotta go pick up the other 10 cars for this train. They're up at the coal mine with rails on them, but then we're gonna need rails up here, so I should have actually gone and grabbed the rest of that train. We could have dropped off some of the rails here at the same time, or grabbed the rest of this train, but I guess I'm not super inspired to run the 20-car train right now with the brake thing going. Funny, I'd rather only re-rail 10 than re-rail 20. Ooh, she's rocking and rolling. Still belting along up the hill at like 20 miles an hour, so it's no problem for the class 125, that's for sure. And well, things definitely wiggle up the Snake Hill there. They make it. And yeah, it's really not that bad of a pull up there. There's another one of the trains down there. Railway Express. That's our secure locomotive. Pinkerton train. Alright, now we should be able to actually open this thing up. We don't really have anything to get in our way from here. This is one of the places I considered putting a yard, or at least a little yard would be kind of cool. Like a, I don't know, call it a helper yard just for getting things up the hill, but not exactly sure. There we go, making our way into the snow. Now, hopefully, this big behemoth stays on the rails, because, I don't know, we'll see. I think I cleaned up at least the two sketchy parts that I thought it was going to hit the ground. It's really easy to, up in the snow, I find, where the ground not really super flat. It's kind of easy to find yourself getting really low into the ground. But do enjoy it, laying the rail up here in the snow, getting to use the snow ballast. It's kind of fun. Alright, not exactly sure where we are with this switch. Again, I should just jump ahead. Yeah, see, we're back to the left and right mouse click. Not exactly my favorite. I like the just click and drag. It's easier just to flip the thing. Sometimes it's just a pain to decide whether you left or right mouse click when you're heading at the stand, but I know a couple other people, we all kind of think that way, but we do have left and right clicks back. That's a thing. A little bit of bridge work over there. Probably swap that out. That bridge work looks a little boring. Might be able to probably look better with a wood truss in there. Really fill it in. The metal just kind of looks a little not enough there, I guess. So that's something I would definitely change. Go through and do the little things. Haven't done that, but I look at it like I like to get out the raw file before messing with a lot of that stuff. Is then everybody likes to tune it, make things look a little different. It's always interesting to see. I do have to say I like always getting a look at what people have done and altered with the save files and stuff. Is always kind of cool to see other people's takes on the layout and some of the amazing builds people do. Really some talented track builders and people who really make it look good out there. There we go. Coming around the corner. This, I gotta say, was one of my favorite parts of the track to lay on this whole layout, was coming around here. It was a little bit of a challenge finding, the place to keep the rail, yet it all comes out pretty cool with a little bit of a pre-laid kind of feel to it. So it was just kind of fun. This is one of the nicer sections, I thought, of the whole map. Really like the valley sections of the map a lot. And most of this stuff you were really able to come up with nice, low to the ground, decent looking rail. That again, I like. go. Moving on. Just about up to the new section of rail here. Nice thing with this, you know, layout or map, I guess, if you will, I thought was that you get to really, you can use a lot of the same line for different places. You didn't have to totally lay like new layouts. So as much as it's a lot of rail, you kind of end up with a main line and then your industries off of that line. So it's kind of cool. You definitely do get to use your runs. Plenty of call for double track as you're running multiple trains. A lot of great features with the new map I have found. Go. Gold smelter off there in the distance. Big money. Alright, and now we should probably chill back just a bit. See if we can get this slowed down enough to grab the switch there. We're gonna head out on the new rail. Hopefully we got all the trees. I don't know, probably more trees on this little bit of run up to the gold mine than anywhere else in the whole layout, to be honest, that I had to cut down. So alright, there we go. Let's go. Plenty of power in this locomotive, so not even going to worry about how we rock on a hill or any of the rest of that stuff. Have never run into a case where the Class 125 couldn't do something. It's definitely a little wider, so you gotta, build for that, but otherwise, never run into a problem with this locomotive doing anything. It's great. And I just so happen to think it's the best looking locomotive in the game, so there's that too. Alright, let's roll this thing there. We're good. Yeah, definitely good. Couple of sections of questionable area. That transition over was definitely one of them there, but that seemed to all work just fine. Once we get up onto this kicker, we will then go away from the smelter. All the gold from the gold mines got to go down to the gold, to the stamp mill anyway, so we didn't hook. I mean, we can get to the smelter from here, but we don't really need to get to the smelter from here, so we're just gonna have to see. We're gonna get low, but not too low, so we're good there. So being on new rail, I really don't want to go much over 20. I mean, if we're gonna wreck, I don't want to totally blow the thing into smithereens either. So I really do have strong questions about whether this rail is gonna work or not. If it doesn't work, I'm not gonna be totally surprised if I actually have to stop or crash this train and then end up having to relay some of it. I'll be shocked if I don't. Laid this track on 2 different days, so part of it was one day, part of it was the next day, which was kind of good because it ended up being a little bit of a longer run. And even with the time, that we save nowadays laying track much faster, I would not, I guess I wasn't sad that I broke it into 2 sections. This is the first real track laying that I've got a chance to do with the new fly mode, which I do have to say, especially when you're covering large distances, is really nice to actually get up and just be able to pick where you want the rail and drop it in and know the whole line works. It's very easy to see, much faster to get there, easier to pick your route, all the rest of it. Still have not really used the survey equipment, but then, you know, I'll be honest, with the survey equipment, I was not one of the people ever asking for survey equipment, so I don't know that I'm ever really going to use it much, though I find it to be a useful tool for those who wanted it, you know, in the first place, so that's where I support it. This is going to be another pretty iffy section as we get through some of this low-lying rail. That looks like a really sharp turn, though it's really not very sharp at all. But after such a whole gentle sweeping turn, that really looks like it's a sharp turn, but still seeing the track okay. So maybe I did higher it enough in the sections where we don't have to worry about it, though I still think there's going to be a couple of low pieces. Alright, we're doing okay. Still doing okay. Got the whole train with us. There we go. Nice. Started an avalanche, and then we are going to wrap back up. This whole line does, I don't, you know, somebody's going to ask, but it's all under, the, you know, 3% or under. At least theoretically. It's all 3% and under. A lot of this came out decent looking rail. Pretty happy with it. There we go. Then we got this one more question. So if we make it over this, we should be alright. Yeah. Alright, because that's really low, obviously. You can see the whole groundwork totally disappeared. Here's another place where we had a little dip and ended up having to fix. Again, we're good, so there we go. These are kind of the roller coaster whoops. Little ups and downs. But I thought I kept it kind of fun too. Part of this. Definitely could come in here and smooth these, but I don't see the point. Didn't need to. I mean, the train's going to be running full speed in here and handle the little loops just like nothing. And I think it kind of makes the train look cool as it's running along. Got a little bit of movement in it. So there you go. All right, now we are just flying. Obviously, we have kind of slid downhill here. We are picking up speed like crazy. Probably better start shedding some of that speed just in case. We don't need to go nuts. It's a first run, but that's going to be cool. There'll be a nice high-speed section of rail. Yeah, we are definitely grabbing a nice little downgrade here. And running with it. Another nice low section here. Uh-oh. Of course, we have almost instant brakes, as you saw right there. So we should be okay. Yep, we got all the trees. Looked really close, but they're all gone. So there we go. Inciting panic everywhere. Okay, whatever, I suppose we're off on the bend, so we'll just take it. I'm not gonna worry about the switch. Not at this point. Test the whole run around, I suppose, all one time. Plenty of room in here to put in a, you know, a large yard if you really wanted to have a high mountain yard. wouldn't be a horrible spot for like a snow yard storage for like loco and plow. Would be kind of a cool thing up here, I think, and probably something we'll look into at some point. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to go in, but I think that'd be the kind of thing I'd keep up here. The plow, no point in having it all the way down there. Up here's where you're going to use it. It's in the snow. It's going to look the coolest up here, I think. Have a high mountain camp. Just kind of holds everything. Alright, cruising around the loop. Do like how we actually got a chance to just have some nice big open loops on this layout. See, there you go, you know, and the brake just about stopped it instantly, and that was definitely not at 100%. But we are going to have to come over here and flip some switches. So sometimes the instant brake can come in handy. Certainly. Others, not always convenient to have that happen, but there we go. Oh. Definitely don't need that. Fire isn't really going to matter, I guess. At this point, we're getting close enough. Alright, oops. Move this back. I don't know if I try to do this one on the fly or not. Maybe we can get a decent speed in here. I don't even know everything's gonna hit the dock. I've heard that the gold pours out of here, it kind of jumps out, so hopefully this isn't too close. I mean, if it is, I'll just pick the gold up on the next rail or something if it's dropping over that far. I don't know, we're just gonna have to see how the gold works when we get there. It'll be a hot minute. Alright, that should be a decent speed. I mean, these are beams. Only 3 to drop. Generally don't take that long, so let's just see what we can get. Alright, working out. Guess I didn't even look how many this thing holds. 30. So actually this should work out perfect. Then we can bring some rails up here, coal up here. Suppose we're going to need tools. Not exactly sure if the gold mine pays out any different, like pays out better than the dredge as far as what you produce, or if they're about the same. I'm assuming they're basically the same, the dredge or the mine. Just got a different materials, different location. But I'm assuming they pay out about the same. The dredge is a fair amount of work, but it is a little closer. Oh, I don't know if we're going to get it all here. Probably 1 car short, looks like. Let's see if we get the whole thing. Not that the payout even, I mean the payout is totally irrelevant at this point. 170 some $1,000. Let's go. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, it's so close. Half a car. You gotta be kidding. We're gonna come up a half a car short. Half a car short from the drop off. Not even half a car short. Well, whatever. We'll have to bump that forward a little bit. We're not gonna call that there. That was horrible. Almost perfect. Alright, we just need about half a car. There we go. That'll stop it. Gotta be enough space there. And then let's see, do we get paid. Yeah, that'll work. Do we get to see the pay on the fly now? Again? No. Don't get to see the pay on the fly now. Again. So, still not going up there. Wait a minute. Why are there only 7 beams in there? Only 7 of the 30, probably because I dropped them too far over this thing, so they'll come off, but they don't count in the drop. You gotta drop them further over here, probably. So there's a thing to be aware of, because I should have checked that. I suppose, so if they're dropping too far over this, they're not gonna count that they're going down into there. Because it only got 7 out of 30 of them, so, there you go. Let that be a lesson. You drop them further over this way. You got plenty of dock space. I should have just been further over this way with it. I can't believe, most of the time they don't come off if they don't count, but there you go. So just a thing to be aware of. We're definitely not going to call that one a win. I mean, the line test was a win, so that actually, it is a win, because, the load didn't really matter. It was really about the test of the line. So the line works. That's a win. But, we're going to say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.